Hello, everybody. This is Lisa Lajoie. I'm your host From Misfit to Mystic. I'm really happy that you're here, and I'm excited about today's guest. Always excited to talk to fellow entrepreneurs who have risen from adversity and challenges into being the person that they're meant to be in the here and the now. And Laurence Lefebvre is no exception. She is a passionate businesswoman. All through her life, was comfortable and glamorous inside her corporate consulting job. Her passion for expansion guided her to start an online custom print business called blankspace.inc, which is, you're going to love to hear what she has to say about that story and how she rose from where she was into the person that she is today. She has a lot of nuggets of gold to share with us. She is now living in freedom in her epic lifestyle that she once dreamt of, and she shares her insights and lessons with anyone that will listen. The journey that led her to start her business was intense, emotional, joyful, challenging, and amazingly fulfilling all at the same time. It was a beautiful, transforming roller coaster of emotions that allowed her to soften her grandiose list of fears. What a great way to express that, and settle into her role as CEO. She now loves her life, her relationships, and hopes to inspire others to get over their fears and believe in themselves once and for all. Very excited to have you here with me today. Welcome to the show, Laurence. Laurence, welcome to From Misfit to Mystic. I'm so happy that you're here. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. I'm really happy that you're here. You're a little powerhouse entrepreneur, so I'm excited to share with the audience about you and your story and how you came to be where you are today. So let's giddy up. My first question for you is, how did you land where you are right now, right here?
Oh boy, that was a chain of events over many, many years. There's like chapters to it. So I would say the first chapter was just after I graduated McGill University.
Yeah.
I was on the straight path, from high school to university to the big corporate job. Everything was great, going smooth. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And on a grad trip to Southeast Asia for 2 months, I had an accident and I ended up in the hospital for 1 month in Asia and then 4 months in bed in Montreal.
Wow.
And basically 2 years where I was really, really sick. And yeah, it just makes everything shift and you take a turn in your life. And I spent a lot of time alone thinking,
wow,
refocusing, letting some people go, realizing what matters, what doesn't matter, feeling my physical body for the first time in my life, really. I developed a new level of physical awareness in my body. Mm-hmm. And that was the first chapter. So during those years of like chronic pain, I decided, okay, if I heal myself, if I get out of this, I'm going to have an epic life. I'm going to have a life that is worth living, and I'm going to be proud of me, and I won't be stopped by my fears.
So I want to just stop for 1 second.
Yeah.
This is great. That's why I just let it go. Like, I never know how I'm going to run the show. I just follow my intuition and my gut, and I throw out questions. Each situation is different. Each person is different. And it's so interesting for me because what I hear you saying is, which is really important to the show, is about giving yourself permission to be in the experience of that pain, of that trauma, of that tragedy for yourself, of sitting in it with it and going, exploring what the deeper reason is that you're here, or just taking the time to dig into, what's the guidance of this hardship that I'm in? What can I learn from it? What's the message in it? So first of all, I think it's amazing that, that could be, I think I'm old enough to be your mother, first of all, let's start with that. Which is incredible to me because you're so young, and to have that kind of depth and an experience like a tragedy like that, because that's a big experience for somebody to be stuck in another country, to have a breakdown in your physical system, and to reflect in that very wise way. To me,
well, it wasn't wise at first. I would say that the first year of my sickness, of my pain,
Yes.
I was stuck in the victim mode.
Oh, there
Oh
we
yeah.
go.
For 1 year, I was really stuck in the victim mode of finding the right doctor for me, of who's gonna save me, why is this happening to me, why do I have to push my job start, why am I the one stuck in bed, why when I drink alcohol I get sick and others don't get sick. For 1 full year I
Wow.
was stuck there, not going anywhere, not healing at all. And it's when I did that shift of, okay, I'm going to take charge of my health and make moves and changes in my life and habits to heal myself. It's when I decided to take charge that then I slowly started to heal.
So
When
tell me
that,
what brought you to that point. So you're saying for a long time I was in victim mode, which is great,
yeah,
like so honest and vulnerable of you, which I
yeah.
love, of course. And then, so what brought you to that place? Was it like, what brought you there? That being fed up? Like, what happened?
Being fed up, like I had seen all the specialists, all the doctors, they could all see what was wrong, but never, like I was hoping for a magic pill. You know what the traditional society medical system um, ingrained in your mind, that there's a magic pill,
Oh
there's
yeah.
a savior that's going to heal you
Yes.
with medicine, and it's just not true. Like none of that is true. And taking pills just made me worse, and controlling symptoms with medication will never get you anywhere. It's not true healing. And I was fed up of the pills, of the symptoms. I didn't want to live like this for the rest of my life. I was like,
Mm.
either I'm truly healing or I'm cutting the cord. Like, what's the point to all this? If I'm to be numb on medication for the rest of my life, no, I don't want this. So to me, there
Wow.
was no choice. It was like either I cut the cord and I slowly let myself go, or I take charge, I put effort, and I face the truth. And that's what I chose. I was just fed up, just fed up.
Well, the interesting thing is, like basically this is a spiritual show, to like how
Mhm.
you rose from that unworthiness into who you are today, and lots of people are stuck there. There's a lot of people in the world that never get out of that place. They don't have the wisdom enough to see the difference between one option and another. So I celebrate that in you, that you were able to see that you had another option, which is really admirable. Lots of, in today's world, we have a lot of options. We see them, it's out there, like there's so many self-help opportunities, and people get stuck. They get stuck in what you're talking about. So I admire it very much that you're able to say, no, I'm going to make another choice. I can see my other option. I want to rise instead of fall. And that's
There was hope too. I think at some point after a year of not even feeling better, it was just worse and worse with the medication.
Mm.
You're hopeless. It's like, and when there's no hope of one day feeling better and nobody is telling you there's hope, you're ready to give up. It's like, what's the point to all this?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand that. Yes, I do. And so do a lot of people in my audience. Understand, I'm hopeless, I'm unworthy, I'm trash, I'm nothing, give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're right. There's always, like, hope to me is the first step. There's always hope. But if you can't find anywhere, then you have to give it to yourself. You have to find a way to find it no matter what, right? That's the first step out.
And since I was stuck in the traditional healthcare system,
Mm-hmm.
and I was told there was no hope, I was stuck in, okay, there's no hope. But my cousin actually is the one who introduced me to alternative medicine. And I discovered that whole other world of healing. And I was really a science person, mathematical, analytical before. And when I discovered that whole other world, I shifted and I was like, oh my God, there's hope. This is true. There's something out there that is worth like searching for. And that's when I went from hopeless to, okay, there's hope for some people. There's things working. I can find something for me.
I'm going to try, which is amazing. So this experience itself opened the door for a lot of other things about you. In your bio, you talk about going through some of this emotional experiences, which helps you crack open the door of yourself and say, like, wait a minute, I'm going to take my power back here. This, and I'm listening to you. I'm like, that's what I hear. I hear you saying, I went to the bottom and I made a choice in the bottom. And I made a choice to, from being open to alternatives, that
Mm-hmm.
maybe I could try something else. So, you sound like a person who doesn't give up, even though you might have given up at different points. You sound like, no, but inside I knew that wasn't the right thing, that I didn't want to live this way. There was no other option, which is a takeaway for people to realize, like, even though you're physically bound to a situation now, you still said, no, there has to be something that I can do that will help me elevate myself into at least a better place. You know what I mean? Which I think is so important. Like, one thing that I've learned over the years, which I think sounds like feels like what you're saying, even children in really traumatic physical conditions, they feel that same way. They're like, yeah, but it's still like, there's always a place to go. There's always an element of goodness and richness in every situation, of gratitude that I can find, or of a possibility of enjoying a moment, recognizing I have an alternative, which I think is so powerful. So that being said, like, how did that influence you? First of all, what's the name of your business? Let's talk about that.
My business is Blank Space, and we do custom prints for everyone. If you want to decorate your home or office and you want to create a more inspiration and motivation into your environment, you decide the picture you want, the size, the layout, and we ship it to you.
So basically they go on the site and then they see all their options of what kind of prints they get. Because I know, like, we've spent some time together, and I know that you have a beautiful one. I think it's on stainless steel, right?
Yes, exactly. It's aluminum.
It's gorgeous. It's a photograph of, of you and your honey printed on, like, a stainless steel. It's gorgeous. So basically anybody can go on the site and then see what they want, see the variety of options. And then what do? They upload a print or whatever, and then you guys take care of business. Yeah,
it can be a travel picture, a picture with your honey, with your dog, with your kids.
Amazing.
For me, it's all about finding moments that you want to remember. Those nice pictures that activate a little feeling inside of you and that are just lost on your iPhone.
Exactly.
Well, you take the time to print it on an aluminum canvas, a poster print, and hang it somewhere in your home. So every day when you glance at it, it reminds you of that good memory you have.
Yeah. And you know what's really beautiful is, I agree with you. There's people, all their stuff is lost. Yeah. All these beautiful moments that they want to remember. Everybody has a wall in their house or their apartment or their place. You know what I mean? There's a wall in every room, right?
Yeah.
And now everything's locked in the phone. So people are filling their walls up with pictures, but not pictures of self. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you've made it easy. People can just do it online. It gets shipped to their homes or their offices or whatever. And boom, we're done. That's it.
Exactly. That's Amazing. It. Boom, we're done.
Amazing. Amazing. And how did you get to the place where you opened this business?
Well, as I said, it started with my physical awareness. And then a few years later, there was a spiritual awakening series of events that happened in my last year in my corporate consulting job, where suddenly the path I was in wasn't making sense for me anymore. And I remember being in board meetings, and I couldn't focus on the meeting anymore. I couldn't take notes in the meeting anymore. And I was, the good employee. I was always on top of my shit, taking notes, leading the meeting. And for a few months, actually, I don't know how they didn't kick me out of that project, but I had trouble taking notes, being fully present, giving my opinions. I zoomed out for a few months. It's like my soul just left me, and I was stuck in like autopilot mode, trying to just get through every day. But I knew at that point that what I was doing was not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And there was a big move that I wanted to do in the near future. And that's how the desire of, okay, I'm going to start my business, and which business I'm going to start. It started there in those months of spiritual, soul searching, depression, anxiety, name them all. I've been through them. And I had the idea, and then I went I needed a break from the corporate world. Sometimes when you need to do big changes in your life, it's so easy when you're stuck in your 9 to 5, in the routine, in the city, the friends, the family, you don't have time to think. You don't have headspace or breathing space to really decide what you want. You're too stuck. You're thinking small. So what I decided to do was, okay, you know what? I have no idea what exactly I'm going to do, but I'm going to go to Costa Rica for 6 weeks. So I took 6 weeks off work, and my goal was not to have fun during 6 weeks, but was to work on myself, read self-development book. I read books about, mindset, fears, The Millionaire Mind, the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And that trip was all about deciding what I want to do with my future and see what's blocking me and get the confidence to make the move I wanted to make and finally quit and decide what I want to do. So I spent a lot of time I was traveling with my boyfriend, and he was helping me, lay out my mindset, my fears. And during that trip, I also did ayahuasca for one ceremony of ayahuasca that really helped me to shift my mindset and my beliefs as well. And when I came back from that trip, I was driven. I was like, you know what, this is it. This is the business I want to build. And I need that amount of money. So I need 6 months to do it. I left my luxurious condo downtown. I went back to my dad. I saved up money. I started working on the project. And a few months later, I finally quit. And it wasn't easy. To me, leaving that job was one of the hardest thing I probably did in my life.
I'm with you. I totally understand.
Because it wasn't, I wasn't working at like Shoppers Drug Mart. It was a good job. It was probably one of the best corporate job I could get. Mm-hmm. It was always different, working with smart, amazing people. It was like a second family to me. So for me to leave, and I felt I was disappointing them, and I didn't want them to be mad at me, and I didn't want my parents necessarily to not approve what I was doing. And I was used to always please people in my life and do what they wanted me to do. So to really step into what I want to do against what everyone wants me to do, it was really hard. It took me few months, and the universe was working with me, but I felt against me at the time. My last project at that job, I was shipped in the middle of nowhere in Quebec for a contract. For like 5 months, I was going every week there in middle of winter. In the middle of nowhere.
We're going to isolate you in the deep freeze to make you know that we're sure about what you're doing and to help you validate what you're doing.
The mattress at the hotel was so bad. I had back pain. All my body was hurting from driving every week. It was like my physical body couldn't handle it anymore. Emotionally, same thing. Spiritually, same thing. Literally, everything pushed me to be like, that's it, I'm done. Not that I choose to quit, but I have no other choice. Like at that point, I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I have to choose myself and just leave against all the fears I had. Because that list of fears was so long. And the closer you get to really quitting that corporate job, the bigger the fear gets. It just amplifies and amplifies, and you can't even see past the fears. It's like a big wall.
Yeah. It's interesting because I totally share that story with you, because that happened to me a long time ago, where I was in a corporate job, same thing. Same, very, very similar journey. And it is true that when you're being pushed, you get this feeling you're being pushed. Like, listen, don't forget why you're making this change. It's almost like a negative support, from spirit. Just like, okay, this is why. You understand? Make sure you understand and you're confirmed that this is why you need to move on. So you create a bigger vision of what you want. The pain allows you to open up to a bigger vision of what you want and how it could be instead of what it is. So I share that with you because I totally understand, you know what I mean? So it took courage to make the move, but you had a deep feeling of confirmation, which is such a huge lesson for people to, when you hear the confirmation, when you hear the desire, to at least walk towards it, because it's from walking towards it that you hear the rest of the confirmations that give you that I'm doing it feeling, and the certainty that it is the right thing, even though it might not make sense to everybody, you know, because sometimes people are impulsive, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they snap to it, versus, which I love in your story, is I walked towards it and kept listening to the confirmations. So you had a level of certainty, even though maybe there was a lot of fear there. So that's amazing. What a great story.
Well, I knew as
Mm.
soon as I made the decision and I told my boss, as hard as it was, I felt such a relief.
Right. Another
Like it,
sign.
it just felt so right.
Yep.
And those fears were like a bit smaller suddenly because I had made the move, I had made the jump.
Yeah, that's how it works.
They were
Sure.
still there, but it's like I had that sense of, I trust that this is the right move. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? That's so important. That's really key for especially people in the audience who are in the same position as you, listening, saying, oh my God, I'm like, she's so young, and look, she's so courageous, and she did it. And, you know, I did it too at a younger age, where you're just like, my life has more value than this. I really want to be happy. What is the lifestyle that I dream of, through the conflict of living a lifestyle that you don't want, you know, or that really doesn't serve your highest purpose or make you feel good as a person? There's so many people struggling with that, who don't know how to just make that first decision or follow the signs. There's two things that are takeaways that I can relate to. One, you have time to sort it out. You know, you have time to sort it out, and you have time to be sure of that you're doing the right thing, you know, through the signs and the signals, and just keep moving forward, but keep your mind open, which I hear you saying. I kept my mind open, and I kept saying, there's something inside telling me there's another life for me that can bring me what I'm looking for. And the other key perspective is like taking the risk, you know, being willing to show up to the risk. And the third, well, there's three actually, because this is like key for me. When the truth hits somebody, everything gets peaceful inside. So whatever was amplified, anxiety, fear, stress, the minute we actually make the move to truth, you relax. And that state of relaxation doesn't make all kinds of other risks disappear or the fears disappear. But that's how we can really know that we're making the right move, from listening to the peace that occurs from making the decision to take the next step. So to me, those are amazing takeaways for people to keep, and to say, yeah, you know what, like, maybe if I try a little bit to explore what the next thing is, like your story, you know, I went away for 6 weeks and I explored, and everything just kept anchoring in the process of listening to the right next step, the right next step, the right next step.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Which, like, that's amazing. So for me, I'm like, oh my God, you're so young, and you actually have so much wisdom that I don't even know if you realize how much wisdom you actually have from your pain. It's incredible.
But
That's
seriously,
incredible.
If I did all that, anyone can do it. I just think what made me do it maybe faster is it's the pain, really. I think I learned through pain, which is totally a pattern I want to shift.
I love that. Shifting that, we're going to shift that. There's other ways to learn. Thank you. Now I get it. I get it, universe. I don't have to have pain to understand contrast or desire.
I've definitely learned a lot through pain. This is definitely
sure.
some of my patterns.
For
Be
sure,
it
but
physical, spiritual pain, emotional pain. Yeah, definitely want to shift that one.
For sure. But, you know, haven't you shifted a lot of it already, if we're really
Yes.
honest about it, right?
Yeah.
Because you learn the lessons from your pain, which I admire so much, and we're willing to show up, because I think a key that maybe you don't realize how powerful it is, because you are in the experience, that I know from working with people for all these years, that our pain at first is the only way to make us move, because we don't know another way at the beginning. You know, you're talking about the beginning of the journey that's led you here. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that beginning point, you know, the universe and our bodies and our spirits and our being has to knock us in the head because of the resistance that we have. But don't you learn so much more quickly now?
Yes,
Right?
definitely.
An acceleration when you're like, oh, I'm in pain, let me move, versus a year, it's like a day, a couple of hours, 10 minutes.
Well,
Right?
it's because now I understand how this works.
Yeah.
Whereas
Exactly.
before, like that year I was in victim mode because I was sick. I had nobody around me to
Yeah.
tell me or show me better.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody had told me, oh, you can learn from your pain. Like nobody had ever
Yeah,
said
you
this.
had no one around like that. I'm with
Like
you. Yeah,
I, if I would have, I think it would have been much faster.
of course.
But yeah, I was all alone. You know, I made my own path, my own discoveries. I learned a lot through, you know, social media, YouTube, because I had no one around me to show me the way.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And you still listen to your inner self that said, go look at, go learn, go fill your mind, which is incredible.
yeah, yeah,
Honestly, that's incredible and key. Like people don't realize it takes just the willingness to change that brings and cracks open the opportunities that are just kind of sitting there waiting, even if it's just on YouTube or in a book or whatever. It opens the door. So let's talk about, like, so you're kind of on the other side of the bridge. Your company's there, you know, you're in this, you're a spiritual entrepreneur now, you're like doing your thing. Tell me about your life from all these changes that you've made, because obviously, like, being young and having your own business and being your own CEO, you know, comes with a package of wisdom that you have to attain as well, and learning and you know, deepening your core self so that you can feel comfortable and confident in what you're doing. Talk to me about those lessons. So you started your business, like, tell me about what you've learned now that you're in it.
I would say it's been 2 years I started, and I quit the corporate job. So those 2 years, I would say the first year was, let's be honest, really chaotic. Really, really chaotic. There was a lot of fears, a lot of stress, a lot of, because I was really stuck in doing everything perfect, being good, not failing. I still have that fear of failure, but now I know that you have to fail if you want to do something great. Like there's no choice around it. For sure,
Yeah,
you're going to fail.
it's
And
gonna
I've failed a lot of times in the past 2 years. I did so many mistakes, but I've learned from them. And it's like that circle of failing, learning from it, failing. If you keep failing without learning, then it's not going to work. But as soon as you fail and you learn from it each time, you get better and better. And with time, like after 2 years, I can say that, like, the stress level, because being an entrepreneur, like at first I had the fear of the unknown,
of course.
but now the entrepreneur life, it's unknown. Like
Yeah.
I have no idea in 2 weeks from now the revenue I'm gonna have, what's gonna happen. Like I have no idea. So getting used to that uncertainty, now I'm used to it, so it doesn't stress me anymore, and I have my support system around me. I think that's another one, having your support system.
Yeah.
So your friends, your mentors, you are one of them, Lisa, for my spiritual well-being. And my boyfriend, the family, the friends, and the online community as well. Like all the podcasts I've listened to, the YouTube videos, having that support system around you, that when you're in lack of inspiration or you're doubting yourself or you think you're not good enough, oh God, do I think that? Have I taught that in the past 2 years many times? But yeah, it's all a journey of learning and a journey of decision making, like believing in yourself enough to make those decisions faster. I would say at first I was taking too much time to make decisions, and I lost a lot of times, and I made the wrong decisions too. Entrepreneurship to me is a game of decision making. It's all about that decision making.
Because it's true. It's
Yeah, it's like, do you make them fast enough, good enough, with the right people?
Yeah, with the right intention, with a clarity of your inner core self, with the world around you, with the social world, with your marketplace. I mean, you're right. It's like there's so many things to think about to make sure that, you know, you're clear about what's the next step. And, you know, what this is like, you know, I know you might not realize it, but there's a lot of wisdom in everything you're saying. At your age, 2 years into an entrepreneurship, like, you're pretty impressive in the sense of what you're delivering to people. And maybe you don't realize it. That's why I want to bring it up, how important it is to give those people out there listening the permission to just go, listen, you're going to learn, you're going to screw it up, you're going to fuck it up, you're going to come back to balance. Just don't give up. Just don't give up. Like, know that your decisions are all a learning curve. And if you make the wrong one, you can come back and learn from it and turn it around. This is so key for, like, I struggle with that for a long time. I don't know, how old are you? You mind saying?
I'm 28.
Okay, seriously, like, I'm like almost double your age. Like, no, it's so important. Like, and I love what you said. Like, if I can do it, you can do it. Like, let me tell you what I have to give you, so you save yourself the headache of what I went through. You know what I mean? Just get into this mind space right away. Like, know your decisions are what are going to make you. Know your decisions can be changed. Know that entrepreneurship is that list of decisions that you need to make, and you're just trying to show up to the right ones, listening to your gut, listening to your mentors, trying to get help. I mean, like, hello, like, hello, like, that's incredible. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, it's really, really beautiful. And I know you're passionate about sharing your wisdom and your knowledge, which is really beautiful also. So what I want to ask you is, tell me about, give me 3 takeaways that you would want people to have, like, right, that come straight from your heart. Like, you know what, if you're starting, you want to start to change your life, you want to build your own entrepreneur business, whatever it is, tell me about what you would want to tell. What would you tell somebody? Tell me about it.
Well, first, believe in yourself. Because
Nice.
if you don't believe in yourself, you won't get anywhere. And if someone was not believing in herself 3 years ago, it was me. Like, 100%. I was not believing in myself. I had confidence in what I was doing, but I was not believing I could create the life I wanted.
Okay, let's just stop for a second. Let's discuss. She's saying at 25 years old, I had an awakening that I needed to believe in myself. Like, hello. Okay, keep going. No, I want people to really understand this conversation, this spiritual entrepreneurship conversation. Like, this is so powerful. Like, literally, it's so freaking powerful for people to understand. At any age, you can have an awakening that will change the course of your life completely, because your life is not the same as it was 3 years ago. Right?
And to me, like, one person that really fast-tracked my process, I would say, is my boyfriend, because I think at some point he was believing in me more than I was believing in myself.
So important.
And having people around you that believe in you more than you actually believe in yourself.
It's like a hand.
It's like a hand, and it keeps you going. And I can say that my dad was believing in me too, but he wasn't telling me or talking about it or holding my hand forward, because he wanted me to figure my own way by myself, which is totally a different way of looking at it. And I'm not saying it's wrong.
Older generation.
Exactly. He wanted me to figure it out by myself, which is, thank you, Dad. But my boyfriend was there in the struggle, and each time I would fall or get trapped in my fears or get stuck, you would believe in me and hold my hand out of it. And that to me was a game changer.
Yeah, and this is so important.
Yeah, it would have taken me maybe a couple more years to get to where I am if you wouldn't have been there.
Right. And it doesn't have to be a boyfriend, you know what I mean? For anybody.
A friend, a mentor.
A mentor. Yeah. It can be anybody. Like, the point of somebody was there who could see me differently than I was experiencing myself.
Exactly.
Helped me see where I was headed, and my potential changed everything. And accelerated the experience. That's freaking mind-blowing and so important. Like, like, so many people are isolated. They don't have that, or they don't realize they can have that. Because you've been saying that this whole conversation. You've been saying it since the beginning. First I had myself, then I had podcasts, then I had mentors, then I had teachers, then I had my boyfriend, and all of these things matter. All of these conversations I was having with somebody or something that could see a different perspective of my possibilities. That's what you're saying. It's just that he's next to you in a huge aspect of the changes that you've made, but you let yourself be supported in a variety of ways.
To me, it's like shifting your environment.
Yeah.
So instead of being in the environment where you watch TV, you watch Netflix, because we don't realize sometimes how our subconscious mind is affected from everything we listen and everything we watch, listening to radio, TV, your friends around you. What are the conversations going on around you on a day-to-day basis? If those conversations are shallow or bringing you down and not inspiring, and you feel stuck, it's going to be harder to get out of it. But if you surround yourself with inspiring conversation, with inspiring podcasts that are motivating you, with people that are reaching for their goals with the same strain that you want to reach for your own goals, well, it's going to make your journey much easier and smoother and more fun. So for me, that was a big one, to shifting my environment.
Yeah, which is great. That's so powerful. Really, really powerful. And allowing yourself to do it and seek it out, right? Because, you know, people don't realize it starts with the willingness, and then things can come towards us. But where we have resistance, or we don't want to open the door to those possibilities or those ideas, we actually block people from coming in who are just sitting there waiting to come in and give us that support and love and nourishment. You know what I mean? So that's a great shift. You know, shift yourself, shift your environment, be open, and things will start coming towards you. You know what I mean? So that's amazing. It's a really.
And I think if I would add one other thing,
please do,
is the self-awareness. Like, to be a great entrepreneur, I think every great entrepreneur needs to have that self-awareness highly developed, because with like what makes you learn and shift and notice what affects you, what doesn't affect you, it's really that awareness. I think the past 2 years I really developed my awareness, and I think it's gonna keep increasing more and more with the years, and it's exciting. But definitely, like, knowing what, like, in your day-to-day basis, what is bringing you up, what is bringing you down, why am I feeling this way, what did I do that makes me feel this way? And notice all the small things you do on a day-to-day basis that help you reach your goals, be it your discipline, your routine in the morning, going out at night with your friends. How do you feel the day after? Does it bring you up or down? Sometimes it's small things, but I see people being stuck in patterns and they don't realize why they're stuck in it. And it's a simple question of, what did you do to make you feel that way? Is it because you got drunk last night and today you can't work on give your best self? It can be only that.
Were you around toxic, energetic people? Were you over helping a friend who doesn't want your help? Were you staying out too late? Were you eating really, you know, like too many gummy bears?
Or Mr. Puffs.
Yeah, little Mr. Puff addiction going on over here. Your house too. We share a common, like, how many did you eat? Yeah, the whole box. What? Once in a while there, you know, but at least when you know, it's okay. It's okay. Detox time. But that's so true. Like, you know, for me, it's so important that those principles of making sure mind, body, soul, I'm nurtured, I'm taking care of myself, and facing where, you know.
Because it's really easy when you're working on your own business to be swallowed into it.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to learn to do, okay, that's enough. I've worked enough today, because there's always more to do. Always. You can always do more. You can always work
to make happen. Always
12 hours a day and not sleep and work 7 days a week. But maybe you can do that for 6 months, a year, 2 years. But at some point you're going to crack and fall down. And if you're the pillar and the pivot of your business, if you fall, well, you're not doing good to anyone, not your business, not yourself. So learning to take care of yourself. Like, in my first year, it was really chaotic. Well, I learned that too, how to take care of myself.
And work efficiently, so you have time also to nurture. Like, this is thing, like,
exactly.
If you need to move forward, like, you need an employee, you need some support, whatever it is. That's really important to listen to how you're experiencing. I love it. That's a great point. So on closing, talk to me about what you want people to know. Is there any final thoughts you have about, you know, encouraging thoughts to help those that are listening going, oh my God, she's so brave and I want to be just Really
find it
important. I
funny.
mean, listen, you're 28 years old. Like, that's unbelievable. And you're just getting warmed up and you're just anchoring into the process of living really in a new life experience. You know what I mean? Like 2 years and here you are, your growth is happening.
Well,
Your business is
when
being, it's expanding. Like, wow.
when you say that to me, it's like, really, I'm
Yeah.
brave, I'm courageous. I don't even believe it for
Yeah, it's
myself
true. I'll
because
just
I
say it,
still,
whether you like it or not, it's true.
I know. Okay, thank you. I'll take it in.
Yeah, it's true.
But every day I still doubt myself, like every day.
But
And
that's what makes it more interesting. You see, Laurence?
yeah,
Like
I
that's
just
what
keep
makes,
going, I guess.
but that's what courage does.
Mm.
Courage says inside when you listen to that part of you, that's because courage is connected to our faith. For me, courage is connected to that higher part of ourselves that says, no, you're not giving up now. No, you're not. Why not? No, because I said, who's telling me that? It's me, your soul. You're going to listen to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like courage comes from a raw, instinctive place of power, which says, no, you're good. You got this. It's unexplainable. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just not, you can't explain that feeling. So that's why I'm saying it's so important. Even if you feel doubt, like you're so courageous to just keep showing up with any kind of feelings that are hard, difficult, that limit you, and go, no, I'm just going to keep going forward. And you break the barrier because you do that. So it's beautiful.
I think through that journey, I got addicted to growth, to just
I love
being a
it.
better version of myself every
Love
day.
it. Yes.
And yeah, it's just, I don't see another way now.
I love it.
It's just the
I'm so
only
proud
way
of you
for
for
me.
saying
So
that. That's freaking
yeah.
beautiful. I would hug you right now if I could.
I'll hug you too.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, seriously, so proud of you. And because I know we've worked a little bit together and I've known you, I'm just so excited about where you're going. And I know some of your next level dreams. And I'm like, you're on the tipping point.
Yeah, I'm really
Because you've
excited
never
too.
given up. It's
Yeah.
because you've just had that courage to go, even though this is like, yeah, I'm a little nervous or I'm not sure, I'm doing it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all entrepreneurs go through. We're doing it anyways because that's the call. The call
Mm-hmm.
inside says, yes, let's do it anyways. Beautiful. So any final points that you want the audience, encouraging words? Or we
There's no, I'm not good enough. We're all worthy, as you would say.
It's my core teaching right there. There's no such thing as unworthiness. Banish that word. It's self-created by humanity and doesn't exist. Yes.
Exactly. That's a good final point. That's
I love
perfect.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, we're all born with infinite possibilities and light and period.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. You're the best. So let's talk to people about how they can reach you, how they can get their prints done on your magnificent website. Tell
Yeah,
me the
so
name, like give them a little info.
you can go on blankspace.ink, INK, to upload your picture directly. You can browse a bit our website. Social media, we're on Instagram. So blankspace.ink on Instagram for some decor inspiration and motivation inspiration. And my personal Instagram is the Happy. I'm not the most active on Instagram these days. I've like put so much effort in the business Instagram, but yeah, I think I should get back to it soon.
You will.
Yeah.
You will for sure. But it's great that you've been focusing because things are turning into such a positive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
great. All your efforts are paying off. And I know a little bit about what's happening. And I'm so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
You blow me away, honestly. At your age to be here where you are, it's like limitless possibilities. Like we're gonna be hanging out in Costa Rica, that's for sure. Living the life, right?
Right.
Okay,
That's the
because the
plan.
thing that
That's the
you
plan.
haven't mentioned is you've created a lifestyle which allows you to be free.
Yeah, maybe I
And
could finish on that. Like when I
yeah,
was
please
in
do.
Costa Rica, I was with my boyfriend, and his lifestyle, he had a remote business, so he could work from anywhere. And we were there for 6 weeks, and he was working maybe 6 hours a day. Then we would go to the beach and live the life. To me, it was like the dream life, really. Working,
Exposure.
even if you work 10 hours a day, you're in Costa Rica, you take a break, you go by the beach. And seeing him live the life, I was like, you know what? this is it. This is the type of lifestyle I want.
Yeah.
With or without him, this is what I want. And that goal of being able one day to work few months a year from the beach somewhere is really what kept me going. That was like one of my biggest goals: build a business where I can have the lifestyle that I want.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Bravo.
So it's possible. It's still the plan. It's still
Bravo.
the plan.
Amazing. So blank space.inc.
Yes.
And Instagram, go check this incredible woman out and all her cool inspirations and art that you're helping people understand that they can make happen with their own photos, which I think is amazing because nobody knows. Like, they don't know. We're so locked in the phone, they don't realize how much, you know, you're offering, that they could fill their walls with things that make them happy.
Yeah, and when we talk about shifting your environment and being
Exactly.
inspired by your environment, well, that's part of it.
I love it.
Looking at beautiful memories every day instead of staring at a blank wall is always, you know,
so good.
It's always better.
So good. So thank you thank you for being here. You're amazing. So proud of you. I'm so proud of you. We'll talk soon. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.